YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. And I got my safety rankings for you guys today. Went through all the position rankings for the 2020 NFL Draft. If you haven't seen them, go check it out. Check them out. They're all in a playlist together. All kinds of NFL Draft content. We have a recent mock draft up with a bunch of trades, so check that out as well. And we'll be live April 23rd during the NFL Draft Day 1 right here on YouTube. And we will be giving you instant predictions and reactions to all the picks. Please subscribe, both channels, the Goat House and the Goat House Plus, and then check out that Twitter link down below for that constant NFL draft content there. And we'll be covering days 2 and 3 on the draft through the Twitter. And we have a podcast on Spotify and Apple. Link down below. Check it out. Who tops the categories for the safety class? Best man coverage safety for me is Xavier McKinney. We've seen him play both free and strong when he was in the box. He was manning up quite a bit of tight ends and running backs and was pretty sticky in coverage there. For zone, pure zone is that Iowa scheme, and Geno Stone dominated in that scheme. So I think he's the best true zone coverage safety here. Best free safety, went with Grant Delpit. You can go with a bunch of different guys here, but when Grant Delpit's playing in the back, playing free safety, he's really rangy when the ball's in the air. And then strong, like I said, McKinney played free and strong, almost 50-50. I thought he was best at strong, and I do think he could be the best strong safety in this class. Tackler, Kyle Duggar, the small school kid from Lenore-Rhine. Risky kind of putting him up here because he's going to have to tackle some, better talent, obviously, way better talent. Big step up there, but I think the most consistent and the flashiest tackler out of the class here. Playmakers, definitely Antoine Winfield Jr. There's a couple playmakers, but Winfield is always attacking the ball, getting his hands on the ball. And the most versatile, I went with Winfield Jr. as well because, he can play free, he can play strong, see him in a box, he can play, a lot think he can play slot corner at the next level, and I believe so as well. So, I think he can. It's a safe bet. You're going to put him out there. He's going to play pretty much any position. And the sleeper, we talked about Geno Stone a little bit. I loved his tape, and he's just not getting a whole bunch of recognition. So sleeper, Geno Stone, and then Auburn's Daniel Thomas is the deep sleeper, really getting no talk whatsoever. I like him at strong safety and playing in the box. Kind of that bigger body guy, but pretty athletic for the strength that he has. So ranking the safeties, which is tough because they're all different types of safeties, and as they should be, they all should be ranked differently according to teams' boards, depending on what they need and when they're on the clock. But number one, I went with Antoine Winfield Jr., the best playmaker back there. I think the safest pick. I think worst case he's starting at slot corner, but I think he'll be a free safety, and he'll get his hands on the ball for sure. I think he's the best playmaker in the class, always attacking the ball, and like we said, he can play multiple different positions, excellent in coverage, and can come up and tackle. There really isn't many flaws to his game, but he's extremely undersized, I guess, comparing him to the other safeties, height-wise, around 5'9", so some teams just won't like that. If he's got to go up over a big-time receiver, some teams won't like that. Like I said, the worst-case scenario, slot cornerback, but he's my number one, just a playmaking ability. Him being, to me, is a safe prospect. I don't overreact from the size. That is the reason I put him at one. Number two, I have Grant Delpit, free safety from LSU. Played in the box a little bit. That's what his instinct showed at times, obviously in the backfield. But yeah, elite pre-snap instincts. Knows the play before it's even happening, and that's, you can't coach that. To me, it's either have that or you don't. And Grant Delpit has it. He's elite, and usually when you're elite in that category, you're usually easily a lock in the first round. But I do think he's a second-round pick, and I do think he will be a second-round pick because of his negatives. But to continue on the positives, very athletic. We've seen him at the pro day run, in the 4.3s. I think that's pretty accurate, and really good attacking the ball. Just never really allows anything behind him or the ball over his head. Yeah, so he's able to be a playmaker back there as well. But to me, the negative to everybody, I think tackling is a major concern. 20 missed tackles in 2019, so it is a major concern. And I guess his frame, and sometimes when he does make the tackle, he kind of gets run over a bit. It happens here and there, and he allows a few extra yards. So maybe add a little more to his frame. Teams will like that. So there is a pretty big negative, but he has those huge positives as well. At the end of the day, I think he'll play free safety, and I think he'll be a playmaker back there. Number three is Xavier McKinney, who's most people's number one. and I can't really argue with you too much, even though I have him at 3. I can't really argue with it. I do think he's the best strong safety. I think he's the most physical safety in the class. So he's number 1 strong safety. If your team needs a strong safety, they'd take McKinney over any other guys. I'd say that'd be correct, even though he's number 3 right here for me. But yeah, great in the box. Very sticky in man coverage. Really sticks with his target. Sometimes running backs tight end. I think running backs, him covering running backs really stands out the most. They're kind of leaking out from the backfield. He knows it's coming and he can stick with them. He doesn't really let them catch the ball or anything happen there, which is a big factor in today's NFL. And then when he's in the box, he's always filling the lanes, filling the gaps in the run game, really stuffing those gaps. So and he'll hit you. He'll lay the wood there. He'll force some fumbles. He gets his hands on the ball. So really exciting stuff. I think why most people have him at 1, every time I see somebody that raves about him, they love that he can come up in the box and play strong and then play free equally as good. And I say that's accurate. That's actually accurate. He played about 50-50, and he played both equally as good actually in college on the tape. But I don't think he'll be able to play free safety in the NFL. I don't think he has the speed in the back end. He definitely doesn't have the speed getting to the ball compared to the other guys. I just don't think he will be. I don't think teams want him to be a free safety. I think they want him to be a strong safety. And then, I think he's strictly a strong safety. So that kind of takes away that part of, even though you still can like him for those reasons, it kind of takes that away. Another thing is very sticky in coverage, like I said, but a lot of time he's focused on the target a lot. He doesn't want to get his head around. And I think he could get beat a bit more in the NFL because I think a good quarterback, which we'd like to think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL, they can place that ball over the top, and the receiver will make the play. So, and then he does fly up into gaps, make a run stop, but he does have his head down and whiffs at times there. So that's something else. But definitely a very good safety. I think the best strong safety in the class. Next, we got Ashton Davis, who's right there with those guys. All 4 are very tight. What I like about Ashton Davis, well, I do think he's a free safety. I think he can play single high safety. We've seen that at California there, so he's pretty much the center fielder back there. So a lot of responsibility. You got to be a playmaker back there. You got to be able to attack the ball. You got to be able to read the field, basically, and he can do that. I think he has a ton of upside because he hasn't had so many, that many reps. He's already adapting, seems to be a natural back there. So that's great. Really good attacking the ball. So he has a lot of flashy plays back there. Not super effective in the run game, which maybe you don't need him to be that much. And then against blocks, there's some of the bigger body guys that got his hands on him. It was tough for him to shed those blocks. So could that be a problem? But really, not too many huge negatives for Ashton Davis. Is he just more pro-ray in those other 3? Probably not, but he actually has more upside than all 3, maybe. So maybe shortly down the road here, we're talking about him, the best safety in the class. Very possible. That's how close these 4 are. Number 5, went with Kyle Duggar, Lenore Ryan, small school safety, athletic freak. We saw that on the limited tape we get to see, and then we saw that at the combine, of course. So good size, very good length. I think he can play strong, free, some type of linebacker. I'm thinking strong safety for him. But he is pretty fun to watch in the back end, coming up, making plays. He breaks on the ball with this crazy burst, quicker than anybody in the class. Really buzzes his feet, really gets upfield, or downfield, I should say, towards the ball. And a very hard hitter, good tackler. There's a lot of upside there because actually something interesting I found out about him, when he was earlier years in high school, I think he was about 5'6", so he really, that's kind of why he went to that small school, not too many colleges, big colleges knew about him. So it feels like he's still growing. He's still becoming this big time player. So that's shows the upside as well. I do think it's a risky pick. It's always a risky pick taking this small of a school kid. The competition. It's just so much difference. That's the adjustment going to the NFL in general. Even if you're playing at LSU, that's the adjustment. And we're talking about Lenore Ryan here. So it's a big adjustment. And it's hard to. It looks like talent and traits wise, second round, but it's just so risky that you just drop in the 3rd round. Like he's not going to be able to dominate at this level, no way. So, but he has the potential, and he's a very flashy player. So you're drafting him off pure gut and based on his traits mainly there. So, but he is number 5. I like Kyle Duggar. And then 6 through 10, I got Geno Smith at 6, a little higher on him than most people, I think. Free safety will thrive in the zone scheme. Very instinctive. He'll come up and get you. He knows that, pre-snap instinctiveness, similar to Grant Delpit. So that's what stands out. Not many players in the NFL have that. Not many safeties have that. So I do like him in the third round. I got Jeremy Chinn, 7th. Weird free safety and boxing. You usually don't see those two go together too often. We've seen it, but not too often. But that's where he'll play. He played some slot corner as well. Some teams like him at linebacker. When he was in the box, nothing really showed me that he's going to be a linebacker based on the tape. He has the size and the athleticism to play today's game linebacker, so I would say there's potential. He has the upside there. It's going to take some time, but nothing on the tape says this guy should be a linebacker. He can play right now. He had linebacker skills on tape, linebacker, like great box moments. Like that didn't really show out to me. I thought his best moments were actually at free safety because he's pretty rangy in the back end, making a play on the ball. So that's where I thought he was best. He just doesn't look like a free safety, I guess. So I'm a little lower on him than I guess everyone. Everyone's getting hyped up, but yeah, they played weaker competition, and then when you played North Dakota State, I did not enjoy the tape against North Dakota State. So especially in the box, I'm not thrilled with that. He looks like the guy, but I just didn't see it. I don't see it yet, but the upside is there. Then Terrell Burgess, who I'm actually more and more liking as a slot corner, perhaps. He played strong safety for Utah, and then he played a bit in the slot. But I think he's probably better suited for the slot, but can play that strong safety. Another one that's somewhat instinctive back there for Utah. I think he's somewhat of a sleeper here, too, because he should be in the conversation with the guys ahead of him. I do think there's a little bit of a drop-off. You see go from round 4 then to a couple of 5s. Alohi Gilman, who he's a big time. I'd say he's a playmaker, going downfield, forcing a lot of fumbles, making those violent hits, getting downfield there, upfield, up in the box is where he's best. You play strong safety, play in the box, and almost like a linebacker, but does he have the size to be a linebacker? But another player that you just really enjoy watching. This guy's a real good football player. And then a free safety, Julian Blackman, who was actually a corner just a year ago for Utah, and it didn't work out well at corner. They switched him to free safety. So 1 year playing free safety, pretty impressive. There's a load of talent in that Utah secondary, though. So, are they helping each other? It's just a good unit. So that's, I guess, kind of the risky part. And, yeah, he did not work out too well at all against corner, at corner, I should say. And the Utah game this year was not the best one for him. We wish he can attack the ball, higher, when it's at its highest point. Don't let the receiver get to it. But a free safety with upside because, like I said, only at the position for 1 year. So Julian Blackman will be number 10 there in round 5. So there's other safeties. Not thrilled with this class, though. J.R. Reed's another one, that'd probably be next from Georgia, another free safety. So full rankings are out for all the position groups. If you want to see them, the Patreon members and the YouTube members will be able to access those already. Everybody will get that full page of rankings the day the NFL draft begins. And then a bunch of bonus content on the Patreon and YouTube memberships, and you also help support the channel. So there's links down below if you're interested in that. We'll be live during the NFL drafts, April 23rd, right here on YouTube. So hopefully you can join us for that. Hopefully you can join us for all of our other videos. Got plenty of them out there, plenty more to come still. Less than a week away, but we still got a lot to get to. So I can't wait for the draft. Please click that like button, subscribe to our channels, follow that Twitter. That Twitter's a must follow. And that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.